Good morning, YouTube. What's up? Lil Bud 701 here with the Barbarian Season 4 SS Barb Seismic Slam. This is the build that I found to work the best. I have the Raycore set, I have the Waste set, I have everything. I have all the Immortal Kings. I got, an Ancient, Immortal Kings, Wep, all that. And this is the build that kind of I've been leaning towards, and I've tried the other ones out. I've put in, a couple hours trying to devise a way to get the best build with the best damage, the best mobility. And this is the build that I found just works, and I'm getting 4 billion, 5 billion crits, 2 billion all the time, 1 billion on normal mobs. I'll show you kind of my gear set, and if you have similar gear, then this build will definitely work for you. It does take the key few items to make this build work. So before I continue, I'll just show you kind of how this build works and where the damage comes from and how. So the Furnace, very popular weapon through all the seasons. Increased damage against elites by 50% when you put it in your cube. If you have just the item, that would also be fine. You could use it, but I cubed it. So the next item, this isn't like a game breaker by any means, but this is just what I'm using. Increase the attack speed of your pets. You're always going to have your ancients out, so I have that. And the faster they attack, the more fury you get. So one makes the other. The next item, you have the Ring of Royal Grandeur. This is because I got to wear the shoulders, and this is because I like my helmet. But okay, so that one's also interchangeable. I will show you the bracers you do need. The bracers that you do need that you can cube, that's perfectly fine. This one, Seismic Slam, deals 379% increased damage to the first 5 enemies it hits. That's what I originally had in my cube, but then I ended up finding these bracers again, and I've been just re-rolling, getting physical skills on there. So the items you need: Braces of Destruction, the Furnace, and the weapon, Fury of the Vanished Peak. This weapon, I got super good roll on it. Ancient, Seismic Slam damage on the weapon, reduce the Fury cost of Seismic Slam by 47%. This is kind of how the build works. This is the foundation on the build. So if you have these items sitting in your stash, like you've been keeping them around, you can do this build just fine. I'll go over the rest of my items quick here, but I thought I should show that just right away to people who don't have these items. Maybe roll for them. If you already have these items, try this build out. It's incredible. Like I was saying, billion crits, 4 billion crits, 5 billion crits. When you're playing in parties, the numbers are just huge. So, Dario's Visage, show you the helmet quick. I don't need to go into too much detail, but it's got physical skills on it, and because I have the ring, I don't have to wear the IK helm. And the neck piece, strength, pretty cookie cutter, critical hit damage, critical hit chance, and you got to have the sockets on your neck and rings. No exceptions there. Got to have that socket, even if you have to give up vitality or maybe even strength on the amulet. Next item, must have for the most part. If you want to get that survivability, this is a must have. If you're just going to play in the lower torments, then this is a should get, but not a must have. IK chest piece, call the ancients damage. I'm going to have them out all the time, and I have that 50% attack speed on the pets, so that's good. Gloves, got to have the critical hit damage, critical hit chance, strength vitality, pretty basic. Belt, I have the life per fury spent. I'm not sure how much I like it, but I'll roll with it. I could get percent life on there, but more vitality doesn't mean more survivability. And you already saw my bracers, but physical skills, strength, all resist, critical hit chance, and we'll go to rings. Focus and restraint. I just got these two, and the build just does ridiculous damage because of these. It was doing great without these, but with these, it's just even more ridiculous and amazing. So I got a pretty good roll on this one. Strength, vitality, critical hit damage, and of course has the socket. And I have Bane of the Trapped in there. 24% increased damage against people that are slowed, and it has the aura. You guys have probably seen that. And here I have focus, strength, vitality, reduce all resource costs. I'm not complaining. I just need to have that set bonus. So Bane of the Powerful, 20% increased damage for 55 seconds after killing elite pack, and increased damage against elites by 15%. The Furnace plus this plus others, you know what I mean? That's like 60%, 65% increased damage against elites. So when you're fighting elites, you just blow right through them. And the pants, nothing special. Strength, vitality, armor, all resist. Whatever you get on there, that's no problem. But Immortal Kings, you guys saw the weapon and the boots. Hammer the Ancients damage on there. I'm still re-rolling the boots. Okay, so that's the gear. I'll bring up my details page. Damage against elites, see that? 65%. That's partially why this build does so much damage. And critical hit chance, 37%. Critical hit damage, 420%. Physical damage increased only 33%. Call of the Ancients damage 28%. Seismic Slam 37. I'll let you guys look at this stuff for the most part. I think pretty self-explanatory, but again, weapon, the furnace in my cube, 50% attack speed of your pets, but really it should be, if you don't have that, Seismic Slam 379. That'll be the foundation. And the Ring of Royal Grandeur, if you don't have the Ring of Royal Grandeur, you just got to wear the helmet for IK. That's fine. That's the details. That's the gear. I hope you guys saw all that. I'll go to Paragon quick. Under core, I'm big into keeping up your farming. You know, I'm at Paragon 298. By no means am I done. So keeping up with the group, keeping ahead of the pack, all of that. I have movement speed. I need to make sure I have my 25% all the time, and then I go into strength. You know, I don't really care about the extra 100 strength. It doesn't bother me. Offense, critical hit damage, big numbers. I love it. Critical hit chance comes secondary, but I'm gonna max those two out, and then after that maybe maybe attack speed, just because with my pets attacking so fast, I have a hard time spending all my fury, so I'd probably go into attack speed. Defense, I first maxed out resist all, and then I went into armor. Life regen, I'm not too worried about. Percent life, not too worried about. Utility, area damage, and life on hit. Anti-life helps, especially because I have a lot of toughness, but your life does go down, and you got to have a way to get it back. So those are the Paragon skills. I will go into the regular skills now. Because I have focus and restraint, I need a generator and I need a spender. So my spender is Seismic Slam, my generator is Furious Charge. It generates 15 Fury. Furious Charge, Merciless Assault. I really use this, you know, to combo the focus and restraint to get them both up all the time if I can. But also to catch up with the pack. You're going to be, if you fall behind or something because you're a melee class, you can charge through some groups and keep charging. So Furious Charge, that's that. Seismic Slam, Strength from Earth. 1% of your max life for every enemy hit. This is amazing. I mean, this is how I stay alive. This is what gets you survivability. It's one thing to do a ton of damage, but it's another thing to be able to survive in T8, T9, T10, greater rifts, whatnot. Wrath of Berserker, Insanity. This is kind of where you can fudge it a little bit if you need to, but if you don't have the survivability you want, go into Striding Giant, reduce all damage taken by 50%. I survive pretty well, so I don't need that. So I'm going into the 50% damage increase. But there's that big difference between 50% damage and 50% damage reduction. So just keep that in mind if you once you start playing what you really want to go for, damage, survivability. You're going to be the first one in, or you're going to be sitting back and just seismic slamming the group. You guys have seen 1,000 monks everywhere. Monks pull them in, you sit right back behind the group, seismic slam all of them. It works out really well. Call of the Ancients, because I have the shoulders that already do Ancient's Fury, gain 4 for every time, I'm able to go in together as one. So here's another 50% of all damage dealt to you is instead divided between the Ancients. That's huge. So that's why I use Call of the Ancients together as one. That's the survivability right there. So you pair that up with the Wrath of Berserker, if you could go way defensive and you could become like a tank. But Blood Rage, do Bloodshed. Critical hits cause an explosion of blood, dealing 20% of all damage done to all. You're hitting groups, people explode, most damage done, that's perfect. Warcry, Veterans Warning, 30% dodge increased. You're going to already have the dodge, you're going to have the 20% plus the 30%, so that's 55%. It's got some diminishing returns, so I think it's actually only like 47%, but that doesn't matter. Toughness goes way up when you got a 50% chance to dodge. So passive skills, Rampage, Nerves of Steel, Ruthless, and Boon. Rampage, you're farming a lot of mobs, you're running through the rifts. It's going to be at 25 all the time. Nerves of Steel, this will protect you from explosions, arcane. It will save your life, I guarantee it. Ruthless, you're going to get these huge numbers come up. Like I said, 1 billion on normal mobs, 2 billion on some, elite packs, 4 or 5 billion here and there. It's wild. You get a mob to under half and you hit them and they just explode. And the Boon, this is just to keep Wrath of Berserker up all the time because of the 6 Ps for IK. So that's the skills. I did the Paragon. I did all that. I can have some gameplay footage.